6 o'clock, I'm calling the meeting to order. Mike, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have several minutes to approve. The first being October 22nd, 2018 work session. Is there a motion, or?
I move we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ooh, Brian, I'm afraid that you can't, oh, crap. All right, so,
You said the regular minutes, right? Not the work session?
I said the work session.
Oh, okay.
All right, so we'll have to table that for a future meeting. We have 2 people that were absent.
Sorry, so.
All right, October 22nd, non-public work session.
Make a motion, we adopt the minutes as written.
Excuse me, like, point of order. So if you were absent for the work session, but you were present for the,
After the regular meeting at 6 o'clock.
okay, so you were
I was
absent.
absent for the 5 o'clock work session
Okay,
here for
sorry.
the regular.
All right, so you made a motion.
Yes.
Was there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the October 22nd regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion? Oh. And Mike, you had to have abstained from that last one, okay. Is there a motion for the October 22nd regular meetings minutes?
I move we accept them. Minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. Wow. The select board will meet on the following dates. We'll have a regular meeting on Monday, November 26th, and December 10th, 2018 at 6 p.m. Work sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. Town offices will be closed on Monday, November 12th, 2018, in observance of Veterans Day. There will be a ceremony in the front of Town Hall starting at 10:30 a.m., and all are welcome. And I'd like to, at this time, announce the new tax rate for the town of Plymouth. And first of all, I want to thank Gary at Brett Purvis and Associates, who worked very diligently this past year doing the revaluation of our properties. And regardless, the new tax rate will be $25.30. And what that represents is the rate itself going down $4.28 from last year. And invite Gary up if you'd like to say a few words. Gary, do you want to,
You also have to accept the VAT.
are we going to do that afterwards, or, yeah? Gary, would you like to approach?
I wasn't planning to make any presentation. I just thought I should, since the approval of the new values is on the agenda, I thought I should be here in case you had questions.
Oh, okay. All right. I appreciate that. So therefore, we need a motion to accept the new town values of $482,702,156 for the municipal, county, and local education tax, and $454,093,456 for the state education tax. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Additionally, we'll need a motion to accept the tax rate of $25.30 for the year 2018. Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we accept 2530 as the new tax rate for the town.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Very good. All the above meetings that I mentioned earlier will be held in the town hall unless otherwise posted. That seemed kind of anticlimactic, but anyway. Yeah, all the meetings will be held at the town hall. Citizens wishing to be listed on the select board's agenda should notify the town hall before 12 noon, the Friday before the scheduled meeting. Alternate members are always needed to fill positions on the zoning and the planning boards. If you're interested, please submit a letter of intent to the Plymouth Selectboard's office at 6 Post Office Square in Plymouth. We have a visitor this evening, Richard Braley. He's here to discuss concerns regarding a letter received on October 4th, 2018. And Richard, you want to?
I was asked to come to this meeting to discuss what you guys had thought after reviewing that letter that I received. That was extremely inappropriate.
Okay. Which specific letter are we talking about?
The letter stating that I am being observed 7 days a week, including evenings, to see what my habits are going to and from my house, and being told that I don't live at my house because I'm not seen there. And in turn, they're trying to say I'm using my place of property as commercial staging when I have a business I do run out of my house, which is perfectly legal because I live there.
We have a code enforcement officer that indicated otherwise. And
Really? Has he been at my house overnight? And for that matter, does he work overnight? His hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, according to the town hall. He does not work evenings or weekends. So his letter stating he is observing me 7 days a week, including evenings, says that he is working outside of his work hours. So he is, in turn, harassing me and stalking me to, an extent beyond his hours of work. Anything during his hours of work could be tied to his job, but outside of that is personal time, and that to me is being harassing and stalking me. Kind of like if you were a police officer and you see someone do something against the law, off duty, you cannot go to them the next day and go, here's your speeding ticket for when I saw you yesterday. You can call in as a citizen and put a complaint in, but you may not use your powers that you are granted by the state when you are not on duty. And he is not on duty on evenings and weekends. So why is he using the power the town has given him to monitor my habits?
Okay, I appreciate that. I believe that his hours aren't necessarily specified 8 to 5.
I asked the town hall, and that was what I was told.
I'm not certain who you asked, but,
That would be his hours of being available during the day.
okay.
And I
That's true.
specifically asked, does he work evenings? I was told no. Does he work weekends? I was told no.
Any comments on the fact that his work would not end specifically at 5 o'clock? And if he sees an infraction after that time, his task is to make that observation and, report it. So I think he's within his rights to observe something, survey something, and then, make note of it and bring it back. Specifically when he's responding to like a compliance, purpose, and he needs to, make sure that after surveillance that you've complied with his request.
Okay, so are you telling me, since he does not observe me at my household, that I should go up to his house, knock on his door, and say, I'm going home, is that okay with you? That way, when I show up at midnight to go to my house, he's well aware that I am going home to sleep, if that's okay with him. Or should he come out at midnight to see if I'm home? Just because I don't carry the hours that you guys might does not mean I don't live at my house. You are harassing me, and I guess I will be consulting an attorney. I have gone to the police about this matter.
Are they taking action on this, or?
Yes, they are following up on it. They are giving you guys the lead because he is a town employee.
No, excuse me.
Yeah.
So that's not true. What does this police department tell you?
To follow up with them on every single time that I speak with you guys.
Did they
That they
tell
are-
you that? Did they tell you that this was not their issue?
They told me to talk to you, and then if I did not get satisfactory results or timely results, to go back and see them, which is what I did. Just to follow up, because, you know, I don't know what his problem is and why he is selecting me out of everybody in this town, when there are people who have the same issues he's complaining about me, that my stuff changes, and you can go to houses that stuff hasn't moved in 15, 20 years. But more importantly, why is he monitoring me to see when I am home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? I want to see proof in black and white of what you say about his hours, that, you know, working outside of the scheduled hours that I am informed by the town hall that he works, that he is allowed to do that. For him to call in a complaint as a citizen outside of his work hours, I would not disagree with that. But for him to use his powers as a, you know, an officer of this town and tie it into when he is not officially working, that is not right.
I guess, have you complied with the, you know, the issues at hand with?
I have put in an appeal.
Oh,
Because
the-
first of all, you are stating I have more than one unroadworthy vehicle, and that is not the case. I have one unroadworthy vehicle, and that is within the town's limits.
Is it
The other two are they registered?
Yeah,
or-
registered, not,
It is unregistered, comma, unroadworthy. So it's one or the other. It is not unregistered and unroadworthy.
How many unregistered vehicles do you have on the property?
I have 3.
Okay.
And I currently have 3 registered vehicles in this town.
Are you planning to register the 3 that are not registered?
The unroadworthy one is a yard plow truck, which tires are currently on my regular vehicle because I need to buy new tires for it. And I didn't have the money at the time, so I was just using those tires. Just bolt them right on. And so that one is not going to, because it's going to be a yard plow truck, like everybody in this town probably has just about. And then the blue car belongs to my mother, who lives in Massachusetts. It needs some repair work done. I've got half the parts. I just don't have the time right now to work on it. In Massachusetts, you cannot turn your insurance off without turning in your license plates. The car is currently inspected in Massachusetts till April of 2019. But since it needs some repair and it's going to be a few months before I can work on it, we took the plates and turned them back into the state so we could save $100 a month on insurance, because it costs about $35 to get your plates back when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Is there a way that you could screen it from the road? Is that a possibility?
Not really. I mean,
Do you have room? I mean, I'm not familiar with the lot, but
I suppose I could, possibly.
would that satisfy the town?
Why am I being selected? Why isn't anyone else being enforced? There's a guy right up the street that lives before him, that his yard looks like hell with torn apart cars. My cars are fully assembled, with the exception of that one I told you the tires are on my current road vehicle. Why am I being selected? Where's the enforcement on everybody else who has stuff that's been in the yard for much longer than me? The blue car's been in my yard for 2 months. The other vehicle, probably 2 months as well. And the yard plow truck, that is my yard plow truck. Just gotta bolt the tires back on it and put the plow on it. So why am I being selected out? How about the guy on Fairgrounds Road with that pile of stuff? How about the guy up on New Hebron Road with 15, 20 vehicles on the edge of the road? How about the guy at the Yellow House right down the street from him? Those are just, a handful of examples. Can I have an answer, please?
I don't have an answer for it.
Does Brian wish to?
first, I've got a question. Are your vehicles parked on your property or on town right-of-way?
They are on my property.
Completely on your, they're not in the right-of-way of the town?
They are not in the town's property at all. The road's up here, it goes downhill to where my stuff is.
I'll have Attorney Radigan put together a letter explaining salary enforcement individuals
Yeah, okay. If that's,
and their hours.
if that's needed, sure, that'd be, yeah, we can verify the fact that Brian's always on the job. And, if he sees an infraction, he can, note it and report it back to us, but we'll have our attorney, note that.
Plus, he's got his,
Brian would like to speak.
Yeah.
he's got his
I'm-
meetings on
Thursday night.
Thursday nights and Tuesday nights. So he's employed in the evening, definitely.
Well, what about the harassment? Like I said, what about everybody else? Why am I being harassed?
See, well, from what I've what's been reported, it didn't sound like harassment, it just sounded like surveillance, or, when he drives by.
Why am I the one that's being
You're not.
enforced on, but not the other people? That is
They are.
harassment. You are selecting me out and harassing me.
That would be, but that's not the case.
That's not the case. So you're telling me the other ones have action going against them as well? Everybody in town that is not compliant has action going against them right now. If not, that is harassment. You are selecting me out and I'm being harassed.
I do know, Mr. Chair, that the one out on Fairgrounds Road is having action, and the one on Old Hebron Road is having action.
New
And
Hebron.
also like to add that off-duty police officers still can,
Right.
yes, they still have to practice their duty.
What about the one that's right up down the street from him? The yellow house? There's torn apart cars there.
I know the two that I looked into, two examples that you were given that first day.
I would like a list of everybody that you are taking action against. That way I can see for proof, am I being harassed or not? And I will be going around the town if needed and surveying all the property myself, and I will compare that to the list you give me. Otherwise, I'll be consulting an attorney because you are harassing me. And now that I've put a complaint into this town, I will never get a fair building permit when I do need one.
I don't think that's the case.
You won't be able to get a what?
A building permit.
When I need to get some, I'm doing work on my house, when I do need to get to the point I need a building permit, I extremely highly doubt I'll ever get a fair shake on this because of the fact I've put a complaint in against him and the town. Especially if this goes to an attorney and we go to law to take it to the courts, being harassed.
Yeah, I can assure you that's not going to be the case, that, we won't hold a grudge against you for bringing action against the town. It's, I'd like to reassure you on that.
So how do I prove to you I live at my house? Just because you don't see me there? Because that's what your problem is. How do I prove it to you?
Maybe, Brian, could you explain what the nature of, or the extent of the issue, or?
As stated in my notice of violation, it says there is a question of residence of the operator, period. There are no allegations beyond that.
Really? You may have noticed I use the term home, casual observation, as I pass the property at least twice a day at varying times, including evenings, 7 days a week, clearly indicates to me that the structure is not, in capital letters, being used as a residence. Please explain that one.
This is a notice of violation. You have
This is the town letter you sent me.
It's a letter.
Yes, on
It's a
town
letter.
letterhead from you.
It's a
Excuse me.
letter. Pardon me, Mr. Chair.
This is an official town document sent to me. Please explain it.
Could we set up a meeting in town, at Town Hall, with you, Brian, myself, the town administrator, and
Another
talk through these things? And, another select board member, and we can, talk this through with less, probably temper, or, we can work this out.
Well, he's telling me that he's not saying that I don't live there, and it says right here, it says I'm not. So tell me, how do I prove to him that I live there? Should I go knock on his door when I go home? I want to avoid problems with you guys. How do I show you I live there? Just because you don't see me there.
Do you live there?
I do live there. Want me to take you there right now? I'll go show you my bed and my cats. You want that? Would that make you happy?
I just asked.
I come in at midnight, I leave at like 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I'm sorry I don't work a 9 to 5 like you folk. How do I make you happy? How do I show you I live there?
That's a good
Because
question.
that is what your problem is you're saying I don't live there. So tell me, how do I satisfy you?
I guess that's part of the problem, is that, it's perceived that you do not live there. But that's only part of the problem.
Like when I came in with this complaint, I had to inform him just so you guys would know that I was going to be going away, but I did live there. I went away to go see my children in Massachusetts for the weekend.
Yes, Paul?
Did I not ask you to give me 9 days to look into it?
I do not remember the specific time frame you gave me. You said, I will start looking into it immediately,
Do you
and
remember going down to the police station 4 days later?
I remember going to the police station I guess it was 4 days later. I also remember going to the police station
After
that
I-
night
after I
because
asked-
of the fact I was so shaken up by the letter of him monitoring me all around the clock.
We'll have our attorney.
That's the type
there
of stuff you
someday.
see
Yeah.
in the real crime movies when somebody goes friggin' psycho and takes and, goes mental and does something wrong. Then they look back and see this odd behavior of monitoring somebody or something like that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Brian.
I don't think that's called for.
Okay, well, I think,
I need a second, I need the two selectmen's names, and I'll have Attorney Radigan.
sure. Brian? Would you like to,
Sure.
and John? Would you like to be, there we go.
We'll get back to you with the time.
So I gotta take more time off from work to deal with this, huh? That's awesome.
No, wait a minute. First of all, the chair didn't excuse you.
Oh, I apologize. I've never been to a meeting before for this. I
And we're
apologize.
trying to help you out.
Yeah, we're gonna have
We didn't
a,
say, when would you be available? No, you didn't give us even a chance to accommodate your hours.
My hours are all over the place. I mean, I've got work lined up like crazy. A lot of it's volunteer work that I do for the elderly and fixed income people for free. Like, for example, this past Monday, I moved an art exhibit from Gorham, New Hampshire to the Plymouth Library for free for the town.
When you have the time to meet with me and two selectmen, could you let me know?
You give me a time and I'll be there.
I don't want you to have.
Midday would
I
not
don't
be
want
good.
to
First
have
thing or
you-
late at night would be great.
I do not want you to lose a dime at your work. We will make ourselves available any day of the week.
Yeah, like I said, first thing in the morning or in late, the latest possible would be best, because that way it doesn't interrupt me in the middle of a job.
Could
8
you give us,
o'clock?
could you give us 3 different times that you could meet with us, and then we'll just pick the one that best works for you?
8 a.m. pretty much any day, and as long as I know ahead of time so I can schedule accordingly,
But
and
that's why we're asking you.
6 o'clock at night, I guess,
Okay.
How many days' notice would you like?
a week, because I typically get notified by one of my jobs, my schedule, like the beginning of the week.
So you're saying 8 a.m. any day of the week?
Yeah, even weekends.
are you okay with that, or should I,
I'll make myself available,
okay.
I will too.
even though I'm at work.
Well,
It's all right. It's all right.
I'll get back to you this week.
thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you for your time.
If you can't make it, you can get in touch with me.
I'll make sure I make it.
Okay. Joe, we have a new purchase order.
So I put my winter bids out for Boulder Point and my snow winter sand hauling, which is Main Street, picking up snow and hauling sand as needed. So that they're two separate, there's two separate things, but they're coming out of the same line item. So it went out to bid, Piper has the bid. His winter services stayed the same, but Boulder Point went up $3 an hour.
So that went from what, 82 to 85 or something?
Yeah, from 83 to 80, 85,
Okay.
or 82, so overall, it went well.
All right. Are there any questions?
Make a motion, we approve the purchase order for $21,000 to RM Piper for snow hauling and sand and plowing.
I have a question, Joe. Does the Boulder Point plowing and sanding, does that include the parking lot too, or just the access road?
Nope, just the road. All those parking lots are all private. We just go up.
So Mid-State takes care
Right.
of, who do they have? Not that, it doesn't matter.
Um,
It's not Piper, because I always see Piper's,
I have
Loader
seen
up there.
Piper up there before, but I don't know if he has it this year or not.
okay,
But I think that goes out to bid like all the rest of them. so.
sure.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Joe. Someone have the original? Take around some. Someone else to sign it, or- Thank you, sir. Should we,
Those are the two
Yeah.
contracts for the purchase order.
can we ask that Paul sign it for the board? Do the signatory. Is there a motion to have Paul be the signatory for the two contracts, for the snow plowing contracts?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 There you go. Okey-dokey. So, we have committee reports. Mike,
I don't believe I have any.
I think you're still looking.
A couple of pages. Quick. Oh, you want to go in order?
Yeah.
Oh, he's shuffling through them.
Checking his list.
So, the Board of Directors for the Chamber of Commerce had a meeting a week and a half ago, and it was a brainstorming meeting. And they had someone come to help bring out ideas and people's comments of the board on the direction of the chamber. A lot of good thoughts came out during that meeting about the direction. There were thoughts that because the membership's a little is off from last year, despite the marketing efforts and the website marketing and the sharing around social media, still hasn't produced what we hoped to be at for a level of members. So this meeting was extremely beneficial. I'd never been part of something like that before. It was pretty enlightening. One thing that I brought up is if it's hard for someone to come up with $220 for a business, to see the benefit that maybe lowering the cost to become a member might be advantageous. So they are putting together a small committee of individuals that will kind of use that information, the brainstorming, and come up with a new direction.
No committee meetings.
I attended actually a planning board meeting, and I've got notes that are all over the stupid paper. I didn't really make too clear notes, but we discussed some unfinished business, and there's going to be a joint meeting of the zoning board, the planning board coming up. There was, what else? I can't even read my notes. There's going to be a first work session. The first work session in January will be to plan the implementation for the rest of the year. And goodness gracious. Oh, and there was a very interesting presentation by Scott Knapp, the NEHEC arborist, and we're looking to replace several trees on South Main. And he was looking at several options, one to include syringes. So it's a tree lilac that, we're thinking about. I guess we are targeting, 3 of those. And those will be, replaced with the town's help to both. I guess they cut them down, we'll get the stumps out and, they'll plant them. So, and then there was some discussion about what to do with the rest of the downtown, because the pears are in kind of like bad shape. And I'll defer to our tree person, the town administrator.
I can tell you, we're looking at all of them,
Yeah,
and for the concerned citizens that are out there that see the black asphalt patch, Joe's still here, that's there that way because it's this time of the year, it's that late in the season for us to do anything. We've had 2 trees die there and one got hit by a car. Will be either bad soil or contaminated soil conditions. So that'll be rectified but for the winter time, we asphalted it for safety purposes and so that the sidewalk tractor won't be hitting it when it's plowing.
thank you for explaining that, because that was, I've.
It's all over
listened about that one.
Facebook, yes.
Yeah, yep. And, there was a discussion too about the general, look of the downtown, and maybe some discussion about doing another downtown committee to,
Well, we've got this great opportunity with Scott helping us, so it's, they're absorbing 90% of the cost,
right?
including the taking down of the trees that need to come down. They're absorbing that cost too. We just have to pick it up, and I guess the fire department will burn the wood, I'm sorry, the highway department will burn the wood as a heating source.
Oh, that's true, yep.
So, that big building does have a large wood stove that it operates off of.
All right, well, Brian.
Thank you. Just the CCC meeting scheduled for the first one of the year with the community campus council will be taking place Tuesday at 5:30 in this room right here. It's very important.
Okay,
I'll get that out there.
very good. Are there any public comments? Yes, ma'am.
I'm here about the Clark Family Trust property, and I never got a notice, and she never called me to meet with me, and they put police crime tape around the house. We called the police to help us get some clothes and stuff out of there, but she had told me that I was requesting an extension on just to do some research about the property, the tax exemption during, I don't know, 70s, I think. I have the book. Not mine, a friend of mine does. And what else I can do to help him, stay in his property. He could be deemed a squatter. He's been there for more than 10 years without anything, I'm just trying to help save his home. And she never called to have a meeting with me, so I'm not sure what to do.
Actually, there was research done. We actually have a letter that's going
okay.
to address it.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
and it's going to go to the owner.
Oh, Mary?
Is it? No, it's not
Mary Davis?
No.
Well, she's the executor of the account. His grandmother and grandfather actually owned the property, and they both passed away.
Oh,
And there was a trust made, and he said his grandmother had willed the house to him, but he's been there for, I think, almost 15 years, and didn't know anything about the paperwork until just recently, about 3 months ago, when I was trying to help him get some. Well, his stepfather had come in and said that they were going to take the property, So we decided to start doing some. This is the last thing that I looked up was that he could be a squatter now because he's been there for more than 10 years and his name's not on the deed. He's taken care of the property actually for 10 years or 15 years maybe or more, with no incident against from the owners or the executive of the trust. So I don't know.
Well,
In lieu of coming up with $35,000, which I was hoping I could get, but I still have 60 days, she said, before, somebody can take it. She said that nobody could take it until January 1st. And I don't know if you, I don't know what else to do.
well, we're sending a letter out to the owner of record, and hopefully that will resolve it.
Yeah, I guess I should give you Dave Davis's address. I think they should have it, but we didn't get the notice that was sent out on the 19th about the cording off the property. I didn't know what was going on and why police crime tape, and that nobody could go in there. Or, why can't he go in with all his stuff in there?
I think people are they're being
Those
invited
arrangements
to.
are being made, as you know, tonight.
And what was it? What was that?
They'll be able to get
Yeah, the retrieve
their
of personal
yeah.
items. Yeah.
There'll be a date set for that.
Yeah, I'll have to give you the address because we didn't get any. Dave, his mother's given up on the property, but she just came over the other day and didn't bring the letter. Just said that, wanted to know what we were going to do with all the stuff in the house.
The correspondence goes to the designee from the state. So
Okay. So that letter's going to go out tomorrow morning. I believe.
Okay, it's going out tomorrow morning, or is it? Can I come to the office and pick it up? I don't know.
it's not addressed. It's not addressed to you.
Right. What about Dave Davis?
It's not addressed to him.
Okay, so is it addressed to Mary Davis? Addressed to Clark Family Trust? And it should be 85 Loon Lake Road.
I'm not the one handling it.
Okay. So, that's the end? I don't know. I don't
If
know
you'd like
what
to stop by tomorrow, we can explain more to you.
Okay, great. That's all I need to know. I'm just looking for, what to do next.
Sure.
Thank you so much for listening to me.
All right, thank you. Are there any other public comments? Is there a need for non-public?
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm looking for a motion in accordance with RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, A through I, to go into a non-public session.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye.